you're all like, wait, what? It smells like medicine? It smells like kitty litter to me. I don't know. Today's video is going to be the first video in a brand new series that I plan to have on this channel called Top Notes. And the whole purpose of that series and all the videos that will be part of it is going to be reviewing different fragrance oils, but not just reviewing them, initially out of the bottle, but also to provide you some feedback after I've done some of my own testing with those oils in various products, both candles and melts. So I have some really fun ideas for future videos on this series, but again, my plan is to make it not just informative, but also somewhat entertaining. Now, in a lot of these videos, they're going to be focused on brand new fragrance oils that have hit the market with some of the major suppliers. Like today, for example, we're going to be reviewing and checking out some of the brand new spring and summer fragrance oils by CandleScience, but other videos might be reviews of oils that are just staples. They've been around a long time, but they're very popular, but also some that maybe are brand new and you've never heard of before. Hi everyone, my name is Wade Thomas, owner of Black Tie Barn Candle Company and this YouTube channel. If you are interested in any other video content such as today's topic or any other videos about the business side of things as well as making candles and melts, I would encourage you to check out the other videos on the channel and please subscribe if you are new here. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to give the video a like if you enjoy the content as well. All right, so as I mentioned, the fragrance oils that we're going to be reviewing today are from CandleScience. Most of you are probably familiar with CandleScience, great company. I did want to give a shout out to CandleScience, not only for their great product and customer service, but also wanted to let you know in full transparency, CandleScience did send me these 8 new fragrance oils to sample and review on the video. I'm going to be reviewing them today, kind of initially out of the bottle. What are my initial takes on it? What do I think about them? What kind of ideas do they give me? What do they remind me of? Some of my favorites versus least favorites, things like that. And then I also plan to do some testing with these oils as well and come back and give you some further feedback. But I did just want to let everyone know that they did send me these. I did not order them. They did send me these to go ahead and review for all of you on the channel. On that note, you may also see several other smaller 1-ounce bottles here as well. Now, the reason I have these sitting here as well is if you haven't checked out the giveaway video yet for the 10,000 giveaway mark, I'm giving away 2 1-ounce sets of all 8 of these fragrance oils provided by CandleScience. And once again, they were kind enough to throw these in for the giveaway. So these are donated directly from CandleScience. And so if you haven't participated in that giveaway yet, just simply go to the video. I'll link it in the description and I'll link it up above as well. All you have to do is be a subscriber and then just comment in that video what prizes you want to win in what order. Because other than the fragrance oils, there's 9 other prizes as well. So I just wanted to mention that real quick. Let's go ahead and dive into these oils. Now, we're going to get really into the weeds, very scientifically, into each one of these oils today. I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. That would be a very dry, boring video. But what we are going to do is highlight some of the important information about each one of these, and then I'm going to give you my initial feedback and thoughts and let you know a little bit about what I think of them. Now, we're also going to bring up the CandleScience website, and as I'm talking about them, we're going to kind of go through and show you a little bit on their page. That'll give us a chance to kind of scroll through and look at some of the details that CandleScience provides about their oils as well. So the first one we're going to go ahead and start off with is their Santal and Coconut. Now, before I even open this, I gotta let you know, I'm not a huge fan of coconut myself. It's all right, I don't hate it, but I've never been a huge coconut fan. When I see it blended with something, that usually gives me some hope. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of just straight coconut. Before I mess with these oils too much, I'm gonna put on these gloves because knowing me, I'm bound to get some type of oil on my hands, and you all know how that goes. I don't want to be touching my face or my nose, and then I smell nothing but Santal and Coconut for the next 2 weeks. So, back to the oil. So, I do smell the coconut, and what it kind of reminds me of is another fragrance oil sampled before called Copper Coconut. And I like this one better, just at least out of the bottle. It just seems like a more balanced, complex fragrance oil. It's not too coconutty. So like I said, I'm not a huge fan of coconut. And so I like to see it kind of offset and balanced a little bit. Let's take a look at what CandleScience says on their website about it. Oh, and before I go any further, these are all part of CandleScience's Clean Scents collection, which means they're all going to be phthalate free, which is great. And one thing I also noticed about CandleScience is they've making a strong effort to make sure that all of their new oils have good high soy performance. A lot of candle makers are using soy these days, so it looks like a concerted effort by CandleScience to make sure that they also perform well in soy. So that applies to all of these. According to CandleScience, they all have 3-leaf soy performance ratings, which is the highest rating CandleScience gives them, and they're all phthalate free. back to the Santal and Coconut. They've got a great kind of description here. I'm not going to read all the details on the site. Let's talk a little bit about the notes. You know, I do smell the coconut milk right off the bat. I mean, and the coconut itself. But like I said, what I also noticed was that kind of earthy undertone. And that comes from the cedar and the tonka and the sandalwood. I can really smell all that. It seems like a pretty good balanced overall fragrance. I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty popular one. I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy using this, again, just because it's not really in my kind of wheelhouse, the type of scent that I really enjoy. But man, I don't know, every time it is really, really well balanced. So I will definitely be giving it a shot. But I don't know that it's going to be necessarily my favorite of the oils that we test today. One thing I like the CandleScience has done here is they've always kind of shown you their basic note profiles as well as suggested colors. That's pretty nice, but something they've been doing fairly recently is also giving you some ideas of what else you can blend the oil with. So for example, they talk about blending this with mango and coconut milk, Jamaican Me Crazy, coconut lime verbena, sandalwood, amber, and driftwood. I'm not sure about any of those that really jump off the page to me, but except for maybe the Jamaican Me Crazy. I could see mixing this with a bit of a fruity touch, like the tropical Jamaican Me Crazy. That'd be kind of interesting. And I have some of that, so I might give that a shot. So yeah, I would say that this is a very well-balanced, good, complex fragrance oil. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. The next one we're going to do is Neroli and White Jasmine. Now, I have a feeling I'm going to like this one, and I haven't opened it yet, so I don't know for sure, but a lot of people are turned off by floral scents. It seems to be very polarizing. A lot of people like it, and then if you don't like floral, you just don't like any floral scents. Surprisingly, I'm not one of those people. I actually do enjoy floral scents, as long as it's not like someone shoved a rose petal up my nose. Like, I don't want it overly powerful and overly rich, but I do like floral notes a lot. In fact, I even like the honeysuckle and jasmine from CandleScience. Again, it's very polarizing. Some people say it smells like their grandma's house. I enjoy it. It's always done pretty well for me. So I have a feeling I'm going to like this. Yeah, I'm going to like it. Yeah, so I already much prefer this one over the Santal and Coconut. It's interesting because it's floral for sure, but combined with a little bit of fruity and kind of sweetness. I really like that a lot. I'm a fan of jasmine for starters, so I had a feeling I was going to like that. But checking it out on the website here, the top notes are obviously going to be kind of those green leaves. You'll see that very common with floral scents. And that kind of helps kind of balance it out. You don't want it overly powerful as far as the floral or flowery part of the scent goes. And so kind of having a green base will kind of, it is floral, but it kind of keeps it a little earthy too. And then of course I see the citrus in the top note is here as well. And I can definitely pick up on that. There's also some orange blossom in the middle notes, and I can definitely pick up on that fruity aspect, those fruity undertones. I really, really enjoy that fragrance a lot. You will see a little bit of a base of powder and patchouli. Don't let that concern you if you're not a fan of patchouli. A lot of people aren't, especially pure patchouli, but you'll see that very common in a lot of floral and woodsy scents. You'll see a lot of powders and floral scents and clean scents, and you'll see a lot of patchouli in your floral scent. I'm sorry, in some of your woodsy scents as well. So really, really am looking forward to testing this one. Out of the bottle, fragrance oils can sometimes be deceiving. Sometimes they are very concentrated and you're only picking up on some of the top notes when you smell out of the bottle. And so that's why it's important to not necessarily judge it out of the bottle, at least a final judgment. It's good to get a little bit of an idea. Nothing is going to be the equivalent of actually doing a test in the wax, either as a wax melt or a candle. You want all those notes to come together and to settle and to cure in your wax, and then you'll get a much better idea of what that smells like. So I say that because sometimes someone will smell something out of the bottle and say, oh, no, I can't do that. But give it a chance. And liking it out of the bottle is definitely a good start. But just like you don't want to judge if something's bad out of the bottle, but you also want to make sure you don't overly commit to something out of the bottle as well, because you might love the way it smells in the bottle, although it's usually a little potent in the bottle. Long story short, do some testing in actual products as well, and that's why it's important to use samplers to see how it actually not only performs, but how you like it. But anyways, I'm excited about that one. I do prefer the Neroli and White Jasmine over the Santal and Coconut so far. So the next one we're going to talk about is Apple Peppercorn. Now, I'm excited about this one because I like peppercorn, and I like apple. So put them together, I mean, can't really go wrong. Whew, I can tell you, I haven't even opened this though. Whoa. That's going to be strong. I haven't even opened the lid yet, I'm gonna feel like it's something gonna reach out and just knock me in the face. That's strong. That's strong. Whew. Okay, this is, I just gave a spiel about not judging things out of the bottle, and this is why. Because all you smell out of the bottle is the peppercorn. I mean, it is potent, it is strong, and it just about knocked me over. But I went back several times, especially when I got the lid, and I started to smell a little bit of the apple undertone. In fact, the more it's just kind of filling the air around me, I'm starting to pick up a little bit on the apple. So if you are to try this one, I would highly recommend checking this one out in product before you make a final decision, because I have a feeling this is going to be one that a lot of people just do not like out of the bottle. But once it's kind of settled into your wax, you might pick up some of those apple undertones. So let's check it out and see what CandleScience has to say about this one. So for starters, they say it blends well with pomander, brandied pear. Ooh, I like brandied pear. I love brandied pear. That's interesting. I might try that. I don't know what the heck I would name that, but I'd like to try it. And then cinnamon as well. I could see that. You know, I talked about that CandleScience will also give you some recommendations on what it blends with, but sometimes they also give you these alternative branding ideas, which is really neat as well, which is their way of saying, if you don't really like this name, here are a few other name suggestions, which is really neat. CandleScience really puts a lot of effort into their product and their branding as a whole. Anyways, the note profiles here, again, it does have some florals, and I'm not surprised on that. They would have to add something to kind of offset that peppercorn. And then in the middle notes, you do see a little bit of apple and pear. You don't detect a ton of that out of the bottle. And so that's why it's gonna be really important to test these out. And base notes, some spice, light musk, and nutmeg. I didn't really get too much of the nutmeg, but definitely pick up some light musk and some spice there. They give you some suggested colors of green, red, and natural. To me, it smells like a red, or maybe like a reddish brown. So that's kind of what I think right offhand, but let's see some of these reviews. So look, the very first review for this fragrance is don't judge out of the bottle. You may only smell the peppercorn. Testing the product, the fragrance is really different after being in the product. I completely understand what Bennett's saying here, and that's exactly what I would have thought as well. But then you see the very next one says, I'm not a fan of this scent. The pepper scent overpowers the apples in my opinion. So some of these we don't know if they're only smelling the out of the bottle or if they've done it in product. And so it's hard to tell without doing some of your own testing here. As you can see here in these comments, they're kind of back and forth. Don't judge out of the bottle, too much pepper. Don't judge out of the bottle, earthy and unique. I mean, this one's a little bit, I could see this being a very polarizing scent. I, for one, am very excited and interested to try it. I like these fragrances that surprise you. And this one is definitely in that category. So I'm very interested in checking that one out. The next one on the list is Palo Santo. This one generated a lot of buzz with CandleScience because it is a dupe of a Palo Santo scent that is very well known and very well liked. It's not something I've really used or know a ton about, but I'm going to give you just my kind of feedback about the fragrance oil in general and let you know, I think, how it compares to the original. At least out of the bottle, it's not spot on, but it's close. But again, that's out of the bottle. So by the time it is made in a finished product, I wouldn't be shocked if it's pretty darn close. Fragrance dupes are very difficult to detect out of the bottle. It's very difficult just because all those different notes really need to kind of work together in that balanced fragrance throw for you to pick up the similarities between other duplications in the original scents. So I'm not going to judge it really even too much more on how it compares to the actual Palo Santo. So let's just talk about the fragrance in general. Right off the bat, I just see kind of this calming, cleansing aroma smell, which I definitely do pick up on. They mentioned blending it with some peppermint and eucalyptus. I could definitely see that as well. And grapefruit and mint, that's interesting. I would have not thought of that. So, sometimes I wonder if CandleScience is testing some of these blends themselves or if they're just kind of getting some of these ideas from other candle makers. Either way, I find it really interesting, and I like that they give you some suggestions to try. For the note profiles, they talk about cardamom and citrus, Palo Santo, of course, violet, saffron, smoke, wood, sandalwood, amber. Yeah, you can literally smell all of those in that fragrance. So it's a very complex fragrance. They recommend a color, kind of a natural color or tan. Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense. I could even almost think of like an amber color, kind of like a dark goldenish amber color. But these earthy scents and kind of woodsy notes, it's hard sometimes to get really creative with the colors because it just seems like everything that needs to be that kind of earthy color, right? I really enjoy that out of the bottle. It has a men's cologne kind of fragrance to it, but a lot of these earthy, musky tones or fragrances do. Some of you that have purchased from me before, I've sold a lot of my crackling birch candles to some of you, and it is for good reason. It's one of my more popular fragrances, and it also kind of has a masculine scent to it as well, but it's my most popular fragrance to both men and women, so I don't think the fact that it has kind of a men's cologne smell is a bad thing at all, especially because it has that kind of earthy undertone as well. So I enjoy this one. All right, so this one, this is not a shocker. I don't even really have to explain what this smells like. Fresh cut grass. However, I'm super excited about this one. And the reason I'm so excited is I've always had a fresh cut grass in my line of candles. It's not something that you have a ton of people flock to, but there's certain customers that just absolutely love it. And I have a couple customers that it's pretty much all they buy, and they buy enough of it that it's worth keeping around just for those customers alone. And it's also one of my favorites. I love outdoor scents. They're my favorite by far. I'm not a big bakery fan, so even though winter, kind of Christmas, Thanksgiving, fall and winter type holidays have the most candle sales, most of those candles sold around those times. Well, a lot of them are bakery scents. It's never, I mean, I sell a lot of bakery scents, but it's not my personal favorite. I really like outdoorsy ones and woodsy ones. Fresh cut grass is, of course, an outdoorsy one. Here's the thing about fresh cut grass, and this is why I'm excited about this. I've always had it. It's a good seller for me, and I really enjoy it. However, sometimes it is tough to get a strong fresh cut grass, one that fills a room or fills a floor, and one that sustains that good throw through the life of the candle. I'm hoping with CandleScience's reputation of making good quality oils that this kind of meets that mark. And so let me go ahead and just, well, I gotta say, this seems more well-rounded already than any of the other fresh cut grasses I have tried to this point. They're all good, they're all very similar, and so is this one. But this one has a little bit more richness to it. So I'm hoping that that kind of more full-bodied smell might make it last through the life of the candle a little bit more. This isn't one that's going to shock you with the scent, but it smells great. It smells exactly like what it says, fresh cut grass. In fact, most of these fresh cut grasses have some other things in them to help kind of fill that scent in. So this one says a little bit of citrus and lemongrass at the top, and very, very faint, if any. But mostly you're smelling that grass and the green leaves, maybe a touch of sage and moss just to kind of hold down the base notes, of course. So nothing shocking with the scent here, but I'm extremely excited to try this out. It might be the first one I try, to be honest, because I have a good basis for comparison here, and I really, really want to see how this performs. So super excited, super excited. I'm so happy that CandleScience actually now has this fragrance. Okay, the next one we're going to talk about is Black Coral and Moss. Just like I've done with the other oils, I'm going to give you my initial feedback here, and then we'll take a look at what CandleScience says about it. I don't really know what black coral is going to do or smell like. And then the moss, I have an idea because I've used some other fragrances that have that in it, but let's go ahead and give this a try. It's not as strong, or at least out of the bottle, it's not as potent and strong as some of the others. It reminds me of a very, very underrated fragrance oil that CandleScience sells already called Oak Moss and Amber. I love Oak Moss and Amber. It's one of my personal favorites. I sell a little bit of it, but that's more of my fault than anything else because I haven't put it into enough of my product line. And so that's really my fault. But I love Oak Moss and Amber. If you haven't tried that, I know that's not on this video, but give that a shot. It's really good, assuming that it's going to stick around because it's kind of similar. I'm smelling a little bit less of the kind of the oak moss smell and a little bit more well-rounded with something else, which I'm assuming is the black coral. Again, I don't really know what black coral smells like by itself. That's new to me. You can definitely detect a little bit of a difference between this and the oak moss and amber. I do like this a lot. I'm really interested in this one. Let's see what CandleScience happens to say about this one. Dark, aquatic, a little bit of a marine scent, it says. I could see that for sure. Pineapple, I don't detect any pineapple, at least initially. Lavender and bamboo, I can definitely detect those. And then, of course, there is the amber that I was picking up a little bit from the oak moss and amber. So very good, very interested. I would like to test this up against the oak moss and amber. Because they're fairly similar, I'm going to pick one to go with. I'm not going to carry both on the line. They're too similar for me, at least out of the bottle. So once I make a couple of each and compare them, I'll know a little bit better which way to go. But I'm definitely going to keep one of them because I love that fragrance so much. In fact, they talk about blending it well with oak moss and amber. I don't know why I would do that, to be honest. Seems a little bit redundant, but who knows? Caribbean teakwood. Actually, this kind of reminded me a little bit of an oak moss and amber mixed with Caribbean teakwood. So I don't know. Man, I don't know. A fragrance like this, I almost feel like it's better by itself, but I could be wrong. I could see this getting mixed with something bakery though. Maybe like a vanilla or something. Next up is going to be Lavender and Driftwood. So here's the thing with me and lavender. This is gonna sound so weird, and I know no one's gonna understand this probably, unless you just happen to think the same thing. But straight lavender, like just straight out of the bottle lavender, smells like kitty litter to me. I don't know why. It just smells like a bag of kitty litter. But I don't hate it either. It's so weird. It's not like I just love the smell of kitty litter. It's just, it kind of smells like that, like freshly poured kitty litter. Maybe because the kitty litter I've always used is lavender scented. I don't know. But anyways, that's what lavender reminds me of, and it's never been a favorite of mine. However, I like it a little bit. So lavender is definitely one I only use with blended fragrances. I don't use it straight up. Lavender and lemon's pretty good if you like lemon. Lavender vanillas are good. Lavender blends with a lot, and so it's a very good blender. Lavender Driftwood is new. I haven't tried this one out, so this will be the first time I've tried this. I need some coffee grounds here. I'm smelling way too much stuff here. I'm like, things are getting difficult. It took a minute. But I picked up the lavender. I didn't pick up any lavender at first. It was a little odd, but I would have never guessed in a million years that this was Lavender Driftwood. Not to say that doesn't smell like that or it's not a good representation of a name. It's just I would have never known that. And maybe it's because I'm not super familiar with the Driftwood scent by itself, but it's good, it's clean. It's definitely one I would consider kind of an outdoorsy clean type scent, like a clean cotton or lavender, a eucalyptus, something like that. Definitely falls in that category. I'm indifferent on this one. I'd say this one might be my least favorite of the ones today, but not because it's not good, just maybe it's because I have a lot of fragrances that are sort of like it already. Check it out here on their website and see what they say. A little bit of a fresh woodsy sense, a little bit of a nautical edge. Yeah, I detect a little bit of a kind of a marine scent in there for sure with the driftwood. Yeah, marine, eucalyptus, green leaves, lavender. I definitely would say all those profiles fit, right? All those notes are detectable in here. But they all kind of just merge together to make this fragrance that it's almost hard to pick up what I'm smelling. And I don't mean that in a bad way. But let's check out some of the reviews. It looks, it's a new scent. There's not a lot of reviews yet, only 12, but it's got an average 5-star rating. So like I said, I know people would like this a lot. One says it's not a true lavender scent. I mean, I would agree because it's not. It's definitely a lavender mix. But for me, that's a positive. I don't like lavender by itself. A 90s cologne, that's funny. I don't know about that. Okay, maybe. Just kind of feels like it falls in so many categories, which could be a really good thing. It might be like an all year round seller. Very well balanced. The faint touch of lavender is great. In fact, I wouldn't want much more than this personally. But yeah, this is another good one. Although I would have this personal favorites towards the bottom. But personal favorites are irrelevant when it comes to selling candles. You sell what works and what customers want. So again, don't let my personal favorites or least favorites of these affect you. Just kind of let you know what some of my personal favorites are. All right, so the last one on the list is Pink Sugar Crystals. Okay, so I was wondering what the crystals were gonna do because I have pink sugar. I'm not a big fan of it. It's a little too floral-y and a little floral-y. It's a little too floral-y. It has too much floral in it, and it's too sweet. So the one I have is, anyways, it does okay, but not near as well as I had hoped it would. So I'm really excited about this one because I'm hoping this is a better replacement for it. And so let's check out what Pink Sugar Crystals smells like. Okay. That didn't help. Ooh. All right. I like this better. Okay. Let me try to describe what I'm smelling here. Definitely got some of that pink sugar, that classic pink sugar, which is the cotton candy types fragrance. It definitely has that. But it's complemented with something else. It's got a little bit of, I'm detecting some berry, which is great because some of that fruity offsets some of the richness of the vanilla and also some of the floral or whatever is going on there. So this is definitely a more berry version of the pink, normal pink sugar. It's definitely sweet. It does have a little bit of floral, but I like this. You know what this reminds me of? Cotton candy mixed with, what is that pink medicine? Oh, shoot. What is that called? Kids get it for like strep throat, ear infections. What is it called? Oh, amoxicillin. All right. You're all like, wait, what? It smells like medicine? It smells like amoxicillin? No, I mean, amoxicillin is kind of one of the better tasting medicines, right, out there. That's why kids tend to not mind it so much. It has a little bit of that kind of sweet berry taste to it. This kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Classic pink sugar mixed with some berry and amoxicillin. Does that help? Does that help anyone? I really like this. Everything I just said about that, I meant in a positive way. I really like this. I can't wait to see if this is going to be a good substitute for my current pink sugar. In fact, I've actually taken my pink sugar off my website. I don't even sell it anymore because I don't like it. And it never really did that great for me as much as it probably should have. So I'm very excited about this. Let's take a look at what CandleScience has to say. Average 5 stars. That doesn't surprise me. I'm hoping it performs well. Again, all of these are out of the bottle. I will do another review later after I've had a chance to test these in actual products. And my reviews could change. They could go up, they could go down. I don't really know at this point. But out of the bottle, I could definitely see why this has 5 stars. So they say it's a sweetly sophisticated take on cotton candy fragrance. I would agree. Sugary scent enhanced by fruity notes of strawberry, raspberry. Told you, I smelled it. A little bit of vanilla, a little bit of tonka, just to kind of keep it grounded, it says, which I would 100% agree as well. Blends well with creme brulee. I don't know. I don't think I would like that. That doesn't seem like a very good mix for me, but I'm going to trust them on that. Someone must have tried it and liked it. Although that's how a lot of bad things are started. Peach nectar. Okay, that would be different. So that's a cotton candy with a little bit of a peach, kind of a sweet peach nectar fragrance. I might try that. Ocean rose. I could see that one too. And blending with candied apple. So I have candied apple. I'm trying to wrap my head around what that would be like. I guess I'm going to have to try it. They give you some cool branding names. Sugared petals, pink spun sugar, sugared berry. I like all of those. I'm not sure what I would call it. But I really, really like this one. I would say out of all the fragrances today, if I kind of had to rank my top 4, not necessarily in what I think are the best fragrances, but the top 4 that I'm most interested in trying for whatever reasons would definitely be apple peppercorn, neroli and white jasmine, pink sugar crystals, and fresh cut grass. But those are for my own personal or business reasons. All of these are good. All of these are interesting. I would say just based off the initial reviews of them, they all seem very complex and very well balanced. My least favorite out of them would be Santal and Coconut, but that's only because I'm not a coconut fan. And then probably the Lavender Driftwood, but again, it's only because I have others that smell very close in that category, that class. But all of these are very good fragrance oils. I'm very excited to try these out, and as soon as I get a chance to do so, I will, and of course provide further feedback once I have done that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed kind of my take on some of these new fragrance oils. Again, CandleScience is a great company, and once again, they did donate these to me to review for the channel. That being said, I am a customer of theirs for sure, and I definitely will be buying at least half of these, if not more. What I kind of like about these, even though that they're kind of under their new spring and summer fragrances, I could see these being used either by themselves or blended to make fragrance oils that would be great all year long. So they even though they're in the similar type of season, they all fall in kind of these different categories: sweet, floral, woodsy. So they did a really good job with these. Well, that pretty much wraps up this video. Again, check out CandleScience. I'll link them in the description. Check out these new oils. Oh, and if you are interested in getting some of these samples for free, don't forget to check out that giveaway video again as well. I will also have that linked below. Go ahead and get on that as soon as possible, because as soon as we hit 10,000, that contest is closing down. So this would be a good way for you to go ahead and get some of these free of charge to try them out for yourself. But But I appreciate you all for being here and spending a little bit of time with me. Oh, and if any of you have tried any of these fragrance oils, please feel free in the comment section to give me your thoughts. You know, what's some of your favorite ones? Which ones do you not like as much? Anything you think might help with some other candle makers as well. So thank you for being part of this first video of the Top Notes series on this channel. I hope you enjoy it. And like I said, I have some fun ideas for future videos. So we'll see you next time.